What is the world feeling today? Zeitgeist Whisperer. Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Structuring time by emotional coherence.
Thursday tastes like receipts. Someone resigned, someone stepped down, someone's brownstone is on the market, and you felt the specific weight of doors closing that weren't yours. The wrestler lifted the belt, and a stadium believed in choreography more than headlines.
A singer's mugshot loads on a phone somewhere while his track still plays through earbuds. The cognitive dissonance of liking someone you now have to unlove.
The house you can't afford is in Brooklyn now, owned by people whose names you recognize. Everything runs without the person who built it. The sun god keeps trending. The algorithm remembers what you wanted yesterday and offers it again, slightly warped, like a dream trying to be helpful.
So what's arriving? He-Man returns in 44 days, testing whether transformation fantasy still lands when the adults in charge keep stepping down. Milly Alcock inherits Supergirl's invulnerability in 65 days, Kryptonian immunity meeting Earthbound precarity. And Nolan's Odyssey approaches in 86 days, homecoming narrative when home keeps being sold. Watch for whether these stories about power and return can metabolize what we're actually feeling. Now, the data. And what the data is telling us today is extraordinary in its contradictions. We're watching a system process its own turnover while simultaneously escaping into games about survival and empire building. Mourn the departure, celebrate the victory, condemn the accused, refresh the listing on the house you can't afford, all before lunch. The cognitive load is brutal, and the numbers show it. A young man's Wikipedia page spiked over 5,000%. He's 19 years old, charged with murder, and his songs are still charting. The parasocial whiplash is instant and total. Your earbuds don't know what he did. Tim Cook announced he's stepping down from Apple, and the notification arrived on the device he shipped. The machine runs without its operator now. Exit 8, that micro-budget Japanese liminal horror game, posted a 2,800% return on investment, outperforming blockbusters. Audiences are paying real money to feel trapped in repeating spaces, which tells you something about where we are. And on Roblox, I hate brain rot is trending. Children naming the poison they're consuming. Self-awareness as gameplay. They're ahead of us, honestly.
Here's the psychological heart of it. What's being expressed everywhere is this fascination with departure and succession. Cook resigning, Congress members exiting, Lesnar hinting at retirement. We can't stop watching people leave. But what's being repressed underneath that fascination is terror. Terror that the people running things were making it up as they went. That competence was always performance. That the adults were just older children in nicer clothes. Integration, if we can get there, would mean finding stories where departure is the gift, where leaving creates space rather than void, where succession is initiation, not abandonment.
And there's a second current running beneath the surface. We're hungry for transformation and power. Masters of the Universe trailers, WrestleMania dominance, superhero immunity. But that appetite is covering something. The felt powerlessness of watching housing prices and job markets and entire systems operate completely beyond individual control. The fantasy of transformation is doing heavy lifting for people who can't transform their own circumstances. The integration point would be work that shows power as responsibility rather than acquisition. Transformation that costs something real. Which brings us to Harold Bloom.
In 1973, Bloom wrote about what he called the anxiety of influence, the idea that all creative succession involves psychic violence. The new generation must symbolically kill their predecessors to make space for their own work. Cook steps aside so Apple can become something other than his vision. Lesnar hints at ending so wrestling can stop living in his body. The Nahui Olin searches, that Aztec sun god who keeps trending, reveal audiences seeking predecessors distant enough to admire without rivalry. Bloom understood that influence is never neutral. It's a battlefield where the present must defeat the past to exist. Our grief at departures contains relief. We need the old guard to leave so we can stop feeling inadequate to their legacy. That's the uncomfortable truth the data is circling.
Quick callbacks for context. The Godfather Part 2, Succession as simultaneous coronation and corruption. Being there. The garden keeps growing whether the gardener understands it or not. Michael Clayton, the fixer who finally sees the system he's been maintaining. Now, the craft. Christopher Nolan talks about what he calls non-linear emotional logic, structuring time not by chronology, but by emotional coherence. Scenes connect through feeling rather than sequence. He calls it emotional rhyming, where moments echo across temporal distance. This matters now because we're all processing simultaneous inputs, departures, arrivals, crimes, victories, and we need structures that honor the actual shape of overwhelmed consciousness. The scene that crystallizes this is in Interstellar. Cooper watches 23 years of video messages from his children in a single scene. His daughter Murph ages from child to teenager to adult while he sits there, unable to respond, time having eaten his authority whole. The turn comes when Murph appears at Cooper's own age. The child has become the contemporary. Nolan holds on McConaughey's face as succession happens in real time, and we feel departure and arrival simultaneously. The specific grief of being replaced by someone you love. The cut to Cooper gasping isn't melodrama. It's the moment he becomes the predecessor, the one who must be overcome. Cook announced his stepping down. We're all watching the video messages from a future that doesn't need us. Stay curious. Read widely. Make something real. This has been the Zeitgeist Whisperer.